This programme was made with support from the National Lottery Heritage Fund. On the Heritage Channel tonight, historic buildings restored, heritage celebrations and the secrets of a mysterious bottle are revealed. Welcome to the Heritage Channel, where we explore the fascinating history of North East Lincolnshire in a monthly roundup of news, views and local stories. The annual Love Your Town fortnight was back in our town centres in February, showcasing the best of local talent and heritage. The Grimsby event featured great family fun, the craft fair in the Minster and live performances from local artists.
I'm going where the weather suits my home. Backing off of the northeast winds, sailing on the summer breeze, skipping over the ocean.
The Love Your Town Poetry Trail also featured in the Hammond House International Literary Festival, held each year in Grimsby. This prestigious event attracts visitors from around the world to celebrate their heritage, practice their craft and receive recognition for their achievements. Weelsby Hall, one of the grandest Victorian buildings in North East Lincolnshire, is due to be renovated and preserved by its current custodians, Linkish Community Trust, thanks to support from the National Lottery Heritage Fund.
We're really excited now that things are starting to happen here at Weelsby Hall. It's been kind of 5 years in the making, this project, and to say that we've now got the funding in place to get things started is absolutely brilliant. Part of the project is to encourage community engagement as well with the site, so we've appointed a new activity officer who's going to oversee those, and that's Rachel Burnett.
Really exciting launch happening in March. I'm doing some documentary filming about the project. We're going to be doing some oral history training with our volunteers. We'll be working with Hammond House Productions, which is really exciting. They'll be putting on some workshops for the students so that they can capture what's happening with the building.
A lot of the learners don't really know too much about it at the minute, so for them to be involved in sort of the buzz and the excitement of it, to be able to see the changes that are made, it's going to be really exciting. But for them to be able to film it and be involved, you know, hands-on, should be really exciting, a really good experience.
The plan is to repair the historic hall, convert it for use as a care training centre, which will feature a sensory integration suite and sensory library as well. And then upstairs will be office accommodation for linkage staff. The stable block will be residential care for people with more complex needs.
Children from St Peter's Primary Academy in Cleethorpe were recently treated to a tour of the Time Trap Museum, thanks to funding from the Townscape Project. Supported by the National Lottery Heritage Fund, the Townscape Project aims to preserve heritage skills and restore historic buildings in Cleethorpe to their former Victorian glory.
So the Townscape Heritage Project was initially a 4-year project from 2018 to 2022. We've extended that project up until the end of this year, up to the end of 2025. It's a £3.8 million project with £1 million supported from the council, 1.9 million from the Heritage Lottery Fund, and then circa 900k from the third-party freeholders and leaseholders who contribute to those properties. The aim of the project was to support the heritage, so the focus area for the Townscape was Alexandra Road and Seaview Street, so we've got a lot of sort of heritage properties in there, lots of, in a sense, more modern shop fronts that we wanted to reinstate that heritage, that Victorian feel within the heart of Cleethorpe, and also the security arrangements of the external shutters. Yes, they provide a function, but they're not very aesthetically pleasing to look at, so we look to do internal shutters as well on the shops. The really interesting discoveries was an early 18th or late 17th century bottle which was discovered behind 37 Seaview Street, which was buried in the ground. I came across this bottle when I actually did an ad hoc site visit, and then when they said it was complete and it still had its contents, you know, my eyes lit up actually, because I thought this is a really special find. And I could see the age of it. I knew that it was a special bottle, and that's when I contacted the University of Lincoln Conservation Department to see if they would be interested in it as an artefact for one of their students.
I love a special object, something that will tell us something about history. Just anything that has real history to it, anything that can tell us something new and different. That is why I got into conservation. We got a lot of information from Carol. She'd done a lot of good work for conserving it in terms of keeping it. So it had been found in a very waterlogged environment, and she kept it damp and wet. That's what she'd been told. So she did a really great job on that, which made my job easier when it came to actually conserving it. So the first thing we had to do was work out in what way it was deteriorating and how to slow down that process. And finally, we had to try and figure out what the content was. Because of the nature of the object and how sort of unique it is, we didn't want to damage the cork. So we decided that we were going to see if we could do it through the glass. The turning point was a machine called the multispectral imager. Now, this is designed to be used at crime scenes. And basically the idea is it throws different colour lights at a room or at a space, and it will show you things that maybe you can't see with the naked eye. And in this particular case, they have a preset on there for bodily fluids. And when we used that preset, the liquid showed up through the bottle. And when we then looked up what shows up on that, we found that urine is the thing that turns up under that particular light. So we tried sort of all the other settings, but that was the only one that showed it up. So yeah, we can fairly certainly say that it's urine.
Their tests have identified that it's human fluid and not alcohol. We're introducing those traditional skills to new people as well, to new students. We had a Heritage Skills Festival last year, but also making those shop fronts fit for the future. You can't preserve an area in aspic, you know, it has to offer, in a sense, 21st century opportunities and attractions, but they can be done in a sympathetic way that harmonises with the heritage, and that's hopefully what those new projects are going to bring. The use of materials and design can really make a difference. This project, I think, is really important because the history of Cleethorpe and its Victorian roots, you know, the seafront conservation area, the heart of Cleethorpe, has its own unique, almost like that Victorian bucket and spade identity. And what this project is doing is really reinvesting back in those heritage properties and bringing that heritage back to life. And so it's that connection with the past.
In other heritage news, North East Lincolnshire Council has been awarded £250,000 by the National Lottery Heritage Fund to research and protect the national heritage of the Humber Estuary. This latest award brings investment in North East Lincolnshire to £10 million since 2019, following 5 years of targeted support for heritage-led regeneration. A second round of funding has been approved for the heritage regeneration on the Port of Grimsby. Local businesses and community organisations can apply for grants towards the restoration of historic buildings. Drawings from a recent course of workshops run by artist Di Brooks will be included in Stories of the Docks, a new digital scrapbook created by Our Big Picture that celebrates the town's fishing heritage. From 2025, Great Grimsby Day will be celebrated on the 11th of March to bring it in line with the day that Grimsby received its town charter in 1201.
The 11th of March is the Charter Day. That's the birthday of Grimsby. It's the day when the town charter was granted, so it's more apt as a Great Grimsby Day. The Freemen of Grimsby are going to be having an exhibition in Freeman Street Market. We're going to be in the Town Hall, in the Mayor's Parlour. We're going to have an exhibition there. The Archives are going to have an exhibition there as well. We'll have a ghost walk and we'll also be having a special ceremony.
Rambles in Lincolnshire at the Grimsby Fishing Heritage Centre features a unique display of almost 100 framed railway poster prints and maps by famous artists. And finally, on Cleethorpe's railway station at 12 noon on Friday the 14th of March, MP for Grimsby and Cleethorpes, Melanie On, will be back to unveil a second plaque in honour of railway entrepreneur Sir Edward Watkins. Well, perhaps you can never pay enough tributes to the man who made Cleethorpes. That's all from the Heritage Channel tonight. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you next month for more heritage news, views and local stories. This programme was made with support from the National Lottery Heritage Fund.